After years and years of Sonic fans asking for remasters of their favorite games, Sega finally listened to them and gave us Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Whew. So, what did you think of Sonic Colors?
The writing was so bad that it made me question my love for this franchise.
Fantastic, because now you get to play Sonic Colors Ultimate.
What makes this version of the game ultimate?
We made Sonic look a little bit better, but also so much worse at the same time, and you can now change Sonic's shoe and glove colors. Ooh.
Yeah, that's not really a lot to get me excited about playing this.
Wait, there's one more thing.
Whether they were a Sonic Colors fan or not, most Sonic fans were pretty confused by this game getting chosen to be remastered. While Sonic Colors isn't a totally brand new game, it's also not that old when compared to the library of all the Sonic the Hedgehog games, and there really wasn't a calling from the community to want this game remastered. So, when Sega revealed that the game after Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations, would also be getting a remaster, everyone just went, eh. Even the addition and tease of Shadow didn't get everyone that excited since Sonic Colors Ultimate's new features weren't anything too huge, and it seemed like, if anything, we would just be getting another episode Shadow from Sonic Forces, a shorter game mode that involved a couple of levels and to be able to play as Shadow. No one expected anything too big to come from this remaster, until we saw footage of Black Doom and the Bio-Lizard returning, new abilities from the Black Arms, brand new cutscenes for a brand new story, and the biggest one of all, teasing Shadow getting to reunite with Maria. Sonic fans soon realized that we weren't just going to be getting some kind of Sonic Generations prequel with Shadow in it, but instead, we'd be getting a whole new Shadow the Hedgehog campaign, and a brand new way to play as the ultimate Lifeform himself. And what was awesome was that the game was coming out the week of my birthday, so to treat myself, I bought the digital deluxe version of the game so I could play it early, took off of work for that whole week, played it, loved it, and then finished off my amazing birthday week by seeing Venom: The Last Dance, which was a huge bummer. But that's not the point! Shadow Generations was incredible, and it gave me a feeling that I rarely get from playing a video game. When I completed the game, I wanted to play it again. Now, I know what you're thinking. It makes total sense to play a game again once you beat it if you loved it. You're never like, man, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is such a good game. I gotta play in all these different stages with all these different types of characters. Link, Cloud Strife, Simon Belmont, even Sora. Oh, man, what a freaking awesome game this is. What a great 3 hours. This was different. I immediately wanted to start a new game after I completed it, and that's really saying something. I was blown away by the experience Sonic Frontiers gave me, but I have yet to play that game for a second time. The first time I played Super Mario Odyssey, I couldn't put my controller down, yet I've only completed that game once. Heck, I recently just replayed what I would consider to be my favorite video game of all time, Batman Arkham City, and after beating the game, I told myself that I would definitely play that game again, but not for another 2 or 3 years. Shadow Generations really struck something inside of me, giving me the urge to want to play the whole game all over again in the same day. So, what was it? Well, let's teleport right into Shadow Generations and see what—
Hey, you know there's still a Sonic Generations attached to this game. You better tell us what you think of that.
Fine, let's just quickly get this part over with. Sonic Generations is still an incredibly fun game, the rewrites are a great improvement, these 2 costumes are awesome, and this final boss battle still f***ing sucks. Okay, now let's get into Shadow Generations and see what it's all about. Hold on. That's better. The game opens up with a cutscene of Maria and Gerald waking up Shadow for the first time years ago, which fades into present time, showing Shadow aboard the Space Colony Ark. Rouge calls him up to tell him to not miss Sonic's birthday party, the same party that happens at the beginning of Sonic Generations. Shadow tells her that he can't leave until he finds the biosignature that Gunn had found around the Ark.
I already told you. Gunn detected an unusual biosignature aboard the Ark. I'm not leaving until I eliminate any possible threat.
There's free food.
Shadow then runs through the Ark until he starts to notice the area around him start to shake and break apart, and that is when he comes face to face with a familiar foe.
I'm back. Hey, wanna see something silly?
After running through a familiar, distorted city, Shadow retrieves the fake Chaos Emerald that Tails created in Sonic Adventure 2. Suddenly, the Time Eater swarms in and puts Shadow into a quiet, strange abyss. This area is called White Space, aka my family reunions. And unlike the 2D hub world of Sonic Generations, this hub world is played in a 3D style. However, what is contained within this hub world is almost exactly the same as Sonic Generations hub world. Different levels, challenges for each level, collectibles, boss fights, and other characters. The characters that join Shadow in this world are Omega, Orbot and Cubot, Maria and Gerald, Rouge after getting through most of the story, and the strangest one of all, Big the Cat. Why I say the strangest one is because when I first saw Big the Cat, I was confused because he was in Sonic Generations. But then I remembered that he wasn't in Sonic Generations. Then when you go talk to Big for the first time, he says,
"Your name's Shadow, isn't it?"
And then that seems odd until you realize that him and Shadow have never interacted with each other. I could have sworn that Big and Shadow have interacted with each other before. There had to be somewhere, sometime, right? I don't know what kind of freaky Mandela effect powers this cat has, but he is just like Infinite because he's making you see crap that's not even there. Sonic Forces 2. Okay, now let's talk about the gameplay. Hold on, let me just clear my throat for a second. Whoa! This is the best Shadow the Hedgehog gameplay we have ever gotten. Shadow has a typical boost and homing attack for most modern Sonic games, but can also shoot Chaos Spears on the fly to activate triggers, and use Chaos Control to slow down time, allowing the player to easily avoid obstacles and enemies along with creating platforms to reach new areas. Shadow has been able to use his Chaos abilities before, but were more meant as attacks that caused some stopping of his movement. Shadow Generations perfectly implements his Chaos abilities into the gameplay so that the player has full capability of what Shadow can perform while not stopping or slowing down, because you know, it's a Sonic game. It's gotta go fast, not gotta go fast for a bit, stop, shoot some flashy sticks, and then go again. But Shadow's original abilities aren't the only powers he has. As the story progresses, Shadow earns Doom powers. Doom powers are new abilities that mutate inside of Shadow from his Black Arm's DNA, and these powers are so freaking cool to use. First, there's Doom Spears, which allow Shadow to shoot 5 Chaos Spears at once. Okay, I guess that one's not that cool. Next is Doom Blast, which involves knocking a Black Arm soldier into the air and kicking them to a specific spot to reach new heights and areas. Then there's Doom Surf, which is basically just blooper surfing from Super Mario Sunshine. I am all of me. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. There's also Doom Morph. This allows Shadow to turn into a squid-like creature and swim through this dark slime. Are you serious? Another Nintendo IP copy? And finally, Doom Wings come out of Shadow's back to help him glide around. Thank goodness this ability isn't ripped from anything. Well, at least it isn't Nintendo. For the levels, there are only 6 of them to play through, but each one has their own different sets of acts and challenges. While the amount of levels are minimal, their details and designs are not. Just like Sonic Generations, the levels are remastered versions of past areas and stages. Areas and stages specifically from Shadow's past. Well, kinda. The first level, Space Colony Arc, takes elements from Final Chase and implements them to work with the modern style of gameplay. The second level you play in is Rail Canyon from Sonic Heroes. It has the quick grinding and train dodging action from the original game with improved rail switching mechanics. Okay. What in the... Kingdom Valley from Sonic 06 returns, and this level might be my favorite in the game. Kingdom Valley in Sonic 06 was easily the prettiest looking stage in that game, so to see it remastered is just such a glorious sight. Not to mention that it also utilizes the Doom Surf so Shadow can dash through the rivers of the valley. That, along with the running and flying portions, this level offers land, air, and sea for Shadow to run through, making it so much fun to play and a wonder to look at. Sunset Heights from Sonic Forces comes next, and it's one of the 2 stages that come from the future of Shadow's history, considering this all takes place during the events of Sonic Generations. Sunset Heights was a nice looking level then with the sunset setting and the giant egg bots destroying the city in the background. Obviously, it looks even greater now with Shadow's style of movement and attacks, and with Act 2 involving a cool rainy day setting. The other future level is Chaos Island from Sonic Frontiers, which is an unusual choice because Shadow was nowhere to be found in that game. I mean, I'll admit, they chose the right island from Frontiers to add into this game, and watching Shadow blast through the volcanic environment while listening to Undefeatable makes you feel like that one Hot Topic kid that hates going to church. But I don't know, something just feels missing. But then the last level is Radical Highway. It's a nice touch that the last level in Shadow Generations is also Shadow's first level in Sonic Adventure 2, the game that Shadow first appeared in. However, this level is different from the others because it is all twisted and demented due to the story's finale.
Yeah, the story. Isn't there a story to this game?
I will get there in a second.
Yeah.
Anyways, all the levels look beautiful and are so fun to play through using Shadow's Chaos and Doom powers. Not to mention that each level also has their own remix, and most of them involve portions of Black Doom ripping the fabric of space and time apart to transport Shadow to Radical Highway. The remastered looks, the level designs, the song choices, the Black Doom encounters, they all create this new kind of hype and excitement that we've never seen from a Sonic level before, creating motivation to return to these levels to master them and to beat your fastest time and high score. When it comes to the other tasks to do in White Space, there's time attack challenges, chests to search for and open to unlock new songs and artwork, and helping Orbot and Cubot collect nuts and bolts to build a rocket ship, which just ends up being a giant cuckoo clock. Talk about a waste of time.
Can we do the story now?
Get out of here!
So, the story of Shadow Generations. After you first enter White Space, Shadow sees Maria off in the distance, but is convinced that he is just seeing things. After completing the Space Colony arc and Rail Canyon, Shadow faces off against his first foe from his past, his prototype, the Bio-Lizard. After Shadow kicks a giant wad of Hubba Bubba at the Bio-Lizard to defeat it, is when Shadow first talks to Black Doom in White Space. This is when Black Doom reveals his evil plan.
Shadow, this anomaly will help me revive the Black Arms and consume the— Ow! My eye! Hey, stop it! I wasn't done talking!
Shadow then hears screaming off in the distance.
I'm gonna get ya! I'm gonna get ya! Haha! I love playing tag! Ow! Hey! What's up with you and kicking us?
This is when Shadow reunites with Maria and Gerald, motivating him to use this time to prevent the Ark disaster, restoring their fate. The next villain Shadow faces off against is Metal Overlord, and... Okay. This is like the best boss fight in this game, because one, battling him on the water instead of in the sky is an exciting fresh take on the boss by creating a new environment and new ways of attacking without totally changing the tone and style of the original fight. But then two, this guy comes out heavy with the dialogue.
You can't hope to defeat me! Accept your fate, you fake hedgehog! Nobody can defeat me! Not you! Not Sonic! Not anyone! I am now the true Sonic! The true ultimate Lifeform!
Like in Sonic Heroes, he had a more powerful voice with more aggressive dialogue, but this Metal Overlord has been itching for a fight. Seriously, I was just waiting for him to call Shadow a slur.
Yeah! Guess who's back as a big dragon? Me, motherfucker! I am the ultimate Lifeform, Shadow, so do you know what that makes you? A little bitch! After I destroy you, Shadow, I'm going to on your corpse so hard!
This whole boss battle is just too much. Too much hype, too much power, honestly. It is then at this point when Gerald explains what is going on with Black Doom and Shadow's new mysterious abilities. He states that as Black Doom gets stronger, so does Shadow, since they are related through their DNA. Oh yeah, Shadow was in Sonic Generations, so we gotta make sure he sees Sonic at least once. Honestly, this part seemed forced, but I get it. You gotta address Shadow's appearance in Sonic Generations, along with his rival fight with Sonic. It's not that horrible by any means, and doesn't ruin the flow of Shadow's main story. It has some nice callbacks to dialogue from the earlier games, and we learn that Shadow actually gave Sonic the fake Chaos Emerald instead of the real one. They did the best they could with intertwining both stories, but it does come off kind of random given the two different locations and events going on.
Oh wow, the story for Shadow Generations is coming out great. Oh wait, shoot. How are we gonna explain Shadow's appearance in Sonic Generations? I don't know. Maybe we can just have Shadow go in the area around City Escape, battle Sonic, and then just put him back in your Chaos Island, and just try not to go into too much detail about why that part just randomly happened? Are you the same writer that wrote Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker? I am! How did you know? Lucky guess.
Then comes the time to face Mephiles, a character that has a lot of history with Shadow. Mephiles' goals are similar to Black Doom's, to use White Space to return to a living form. After being released from the Scepter of Darkness, he fights Shadow to complete that goal. Mephiles does something towards the end of the boss fight that I was not expecting him to do. Show fear. As he is getting defeated, he screams, "I want to exist!" Saying that really seemed out of character for him based on his personality from Sonic 06, but also expanded on his character, showing that even though he is a dark force, he is still scared of his fate. I did not see that coming, but it was really cool to witness a powerful villain react like that with that kind of tone.
I mean, not to sound like a 2019 meme, but that whole boss fight was pretty much...
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
The final battle is ready to commence, and Shadow becomes filled with rage, making the black arm side of him stronger. Maria then calms him down, reminding him why she named him Shadow. Because in darkness, there is no light, but a shadow will help you find the light.
Damn, that's some good writing right there!
But then that begs the question, if Maria couldn't name him, what was Shadow's original name going to be?
Look at our beautiful baby boy. What should we name him?
I was thinking Sparky.
Sparky? He's not a dog. I was hoping we could name him after my father, Homer.
Your name is Black Doom, but your dad's name is Homer?
Don't you dare speak ill of Homer Doom.
Shadow unleashes his Doom Wings and reassures Maria that he is going to fight, but he will fight with her wish for everyone to be happy in mind.
That is so freaking cute.
After running through Radical Highway and defeating Devil Doom twice, Whitespace starts to fade away along with Maria and Gerald. Shadow scrambles to find a way to save them, but Maria tells Shadow to move on and to go save his friends, reassuring him that they'll see each other again. Shadow then runs off as a tear flies back and hits Rouge in the face. And that right there, that is the moment when I said, yeah, I want to play this game again right away.
When you think about it, Shadow Generations isn't anything outstanding when compared to Sonic Generations.
They both have a similar story in trying to restore time and space and have you play remastered levels and boss fights. However, what makes Shadow Generations stand out much more and, in my opinion, makes it a better game than Sonic Generations is how Sega handled Shadow. Sega wrote and developed Shadow in a way that we haven't really seen before. They handled Shadow with the fans in mind.
I need a new Shadow game, but I don't have any ideas. Oh, come on. Shadow, my beautiful emo baby. Please give me an idea. Wait, what the heck is this? Huh.
From the major points to the smaller details, you can see how Sega wanted to really give an amazing celebration to Shadow fans. They wrote Shadow how we all know him to be first and then expanded on that. We got the best Shadow gameplay yet with new abilities while he skates and moves the same way he always has, but with a few extra added movements to match his style. We also got to witness moments we never thought we'd get to see Shadow experience. The biggest one is Shadow getting to interact with Maria again, but then also see how certain villains react to the return to life. Not to mention the excellent dialogue and emotions we got, like Maria explaining the origins of Shadow's name, Mephiles showing fear, and Shadow crying after doing the right thing. Shadow Generations really felt like a true celebration of the character, a celebration we've never seen before. To fully see a character's true physical and emotional personality be pushed to the limits, to play through worlds that honor that character, and to experience new moments with old faces. Even after all of that, there's still other content that creates a larger celebration of Shadow's history. We can finally play as Terios, Shadow's first concept design. We can run around Whitespace and collect music from Shadow the Hedgehog. Hey, that's what felt missing! A stage from Shadow the Hedgehog! There are all these levels that Shadow has appeared and not appeared in, but there's not one level from his own game? I mean, you would think that Black Doom would have teleported Shadow to Sky Troops or the Black Comet, but no. He sent Shadow to Radical Highway and he wasn't even there. Or was he?
I'm in a blimp.
And of course, with this game coming out the same year as Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Sega went the extra mile and gave us a level inspired by the film where we can play as Keanu Reeves' Shadow, who also voices the character for this level. How can you tell me that a game where you play as Shadow voiced by Keanu Reeves and pop balloons isn't amazing? This game has amazing content, fun gameplay, exciting levels, crazy boss fights, beautiful graphics, and a great story that is filled with great moments for a great character. Shadow is such a distinct and important character for most fans for reasons that go beyond just thinking a character is cool. Sega knew that this time around and honored the Ultimate Lifeform and its fans so well. I cannot wait until we get more games like this for Shadow, for Sonic, and hopefully for other characters, but for now, we have Shadow Generations, a game that I'll always want to replay for generations to come.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to replay Shadow Generations right away because the main game is only like 5 hours long. That was like a 5-hour expansion story. Okay, Super Mario 3D World. Okay, wait, seriously, hold on.
I know I made that comparison joke earlier, but this really is just Sega's version of Bowser's Fury. A male protagonist with red clothing being transported by a dark force to an empty area that slowly expands and opens up as he progresses, a villain floating in the sky that you end up defeating twice, running into allies, a child that helps the protagonist, and a character with a relationship to the villain, using unique powers to complete tasks, traveling around via land and sea, fighting familiar foes, searching for collectibles, time attack challenges, castle and tower-like architecture, taking on a new form,
And a whole lot of pussy!